did you not take a step back and say, what, murder?
Absolutely. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, absolutely. And what made me a believer was after talking to these first couple guys who had been on the case for over 20 years, they were researching and they knew everything about Kurt and Courtney and the nannies. And I'm like, this is pretty fascinating. Like, there's nannies that are addicts. There's male nannies who do drugs. They're watching Francis Bean. Everybody knows this. I'm not revealing something they don't know. When I started to go through the police reports and the autopsy, and I started to see it. It's like it's shining to me, right? I'm like, well, this is kind of weird. Why is there no prints on the gun? That gun's pretty damn long. I'm not saying he couldn't get it in his mouth. I saw somebody do it. I guess you could. Barely. It's a Model 11 Remington 20 gauge with a 5-inch choke on it. Okay? It has an extender on it, too. So you can do it, but you like knock your teeth out trying to do it. Okay?
Right.
So it's the weirdest gun to choose. And Kurt didn't buy the gun. Dylan Carlson did. And I have the receipt. And that's in the police report. And Dylan made up this lie that Kurt bought the gun. No, he didn't, Dylan. You bought the gun. It's in your name. And I don't believe Kurt was at the gun shop at all. And a lot of people are trying to prove me wrong. Prove it. Show me Kurt Cobain was at the gun shop. You can't.
So you start the process. What is the process? You order the police reports and the autopsy report?
So what I do is it's like on every case. It's pretty much the same. Google's an amazing resource. Reddit, right? I have my own software or apps where I can do background checks on people. I can also set filters to stories where I can pull up keywords in autopsies, in public documents, court cases, everything. I look at everything. I watch every documentary. Soaked in Bleach, Kurt and Courtney, many times over. I contact people. I call them. I email them. I begin the process of talking to everybody and their mother. Not everybody talks, right? Okay?
Right.
I usually stay away from sometimes the family. So the family of Kurt Cobain, I stayed away from. I don't want them because they're polluted in their head. They don't know what's going on. And a lot of times when you go to the families and you say, your child was murdered, it's very shocking for them. And I just don't want to deal with it right now. If they want to come to me later, they can. But a lot of times I deal with this other family on another case. They sabotage me every day. So it's hard to explain. A lot of families don't want you to solve their child's murder because they don't understand why the cops never did it. How are you doing it? I don't even know who you are. Chris, who? Who are you? Like, why are you calling me? You see what I mean? And Wendy O'Connor is Kurt's mom. She passed away. There's an uncle. There's a couple cousins. I think Kurt's dad is alive. I'm not sure if he is, or the grandfather. But I did it on my own, away from the families. Obviously, I looked into Courtney Love a lot. I'm not saying Courtney Love murdered Kurt Cobain. She was not there. She has an alibi. She was in LA at the Peninsula. I'm not here to really talk too much about Courtney Love, okay? I'm here to talk about the killers of Kurt Cobain and the 6 witnesses who saw it.
So you order the documents, you order these things, you do Google, you do research, and then what?
And then, as I engage the people, the investigators, the PIs, the fans, they begin to give me things that aren't on Google. You see what I'm saying? So all the information is coming from every angle. Documentary, Reddit, YouTube, Google, official police documents, and then people themselves. And then the witnesses. Now remember, I'm at the witnesses. 2 of them. They both corroborate the story.
What do the police reports and the autopsy say?
The police reports and the autopsy basically reflect and try to punch you in the face that it's a suicide.
Okay.
So it's biased, first of all, and they said it was a suicide by end of business day on the Friday, April 1st, they found it. There were no toxicology reports back. There were no fingerprint tests done. How are you declaring it a suicide? Because you saw him laying with a gun on his chest, right? Well, isn't that how you'd stage a suicide too? This was a bad investigation. This was bad. And they know that. And all the people knew that. That's why they kept saying, there's a murder, there's a murder. The problem was they kept looking at Courtney. They keep looking at her. She's not even there. Focus on who's in the house. Who's at the house? And there were 8 people there. 8! That's insane. And now let me say this, because you asked the right question before. I didn't believe it at first. But when I knew there were 8 people there, the bulb just blew up in my head like, it's over, you got it. You don't even, that's it. There's no way they could be lying. There's no way. If they said there were 3 people there, okay, you know what I mean? Or 2 people. And you say there's 8? 8 of them? It's not, I knew right away. And it's almost like I use this analogy, mapping the human genome. You don't need to know everything to map it. They only needed like 38%. Once they had the basic formula, they're like, we're good, we're going to figure it out in a couple of years. Oh wait, but you guys didn't figure it out yet. No, we only need a couple more years. We already cracked the code. That's how I do the cases too. Once I got you, I got you. It may take me, 6 months to a year to put it all together. I already got you. I knew it. I was like, wow. And then I met the people and talked to them. One of them was a little hostile, and one it took a while to get this source to really open up, but once they did, I'm like, it's real. This is it.
Weren't they already interviewed by the police? Aren't there witnesses?
No. Nope. Not at all. Not one of them. Doesn't that tell you something right there?
So when you got the police reports, there were no witness statements.
None.
That's awesome.
0. There was like later on, or Dylan Carlson might have talked to the cops once on the phone. They had a PI named Tom Grant, who everybody knows in the circles. He's been obsessed with this story. He knew Courtney. He recorded her. He was hired by her. He did the movie Soaked in Bleach with Ben Statler. He's kind of a legend in the game. I'm here to kind of take over what he did. He's kind of pushed to the side. I'm willing to talk to him, but I already know this from other cases. These guys are so kind of brainwashed. You start telling them you're wrong. They want nothing to do with it. And I don't really like dealing with older people either. No offense to age discrimination here. I really do not like dealing with older people because the way they act is just so stubborn and so like fixated on what they're doing and not really fighting for the victims. Tom Grant knew he was killed in the back of his head. We can talk about some stuff about Tom because a lot of the fans are going to want me to address a lot of what he did. But I will say this to your audience. Tom Grant, I do believe, saw Kurt's body in the greenhouse. I do believe he knew he was dead.
What is the difference between what these people are saying and what the official narrative is and what you're saying happened?
So first is they say suicide, I say murder.
Okay.
They say he's dead. He killed himself on April 5th. I say he's killed on April 2nd. His body is found on April 8th, on a Friday. Okay? But they try to use April 5th as the actual death date. He is actually killed on April 2nd, very early in the morning or late at night, whatever you want to call it. Okay? 3 a.m., April 2nd. Every step from that moment, I dispute every single thing the Seattle PD say, and these other people that said they saw Kurt at a diner, at a bar. You're a liar. You didn't see him. There's a lot of these people are going to come out, and it's okay. But we don't have enough time to go over every detail of the movements of these people, because it's a lot. It's a lot. There's 8 people. 6, the killers. I'm going to name the killers today. I'm going to name all the accessories and witnesses. And then my other interviews, I didn't name one of them. I'm going to name them today because I have to, because everyone's coming forward, like all the people. So, and I think this person is the hero of the case, this witness who is cooperative. So, but yeah, I mean, basically,